Hello and welcome. Today's conversation is titled Future Ready Youth Building Digital Resilience Early. And it's about what digital readiness really means for today's youth growing up in Singapore's digital first society. Being digitally fluent doesn't automatically mean being digitally ready. So, when the stakes move from school or university all the way into workplace and even broader community, it's becoming more and more challenging. So, hi everyone, I'm Purnima. I'm an associate professor at the Singapore Institute of Technology, and I work in areas of digital trust and cybersecurity. I spend a lot of time with young people as they navigate through the digital platforms and systems. And one thing I see consistently is the biggest challenge isn't the technology. The biggest challenge indeed is how to make good digital decisions when the consequences suddenly become real moving into the work environment. That's why today's conversation is timely. And I'm joined today with Lester. Lester, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lester, currently a Year 4 student at Singapore Institute of Technology, and I'm currently doing my internship at RSM Singapore as an IT auditor.
But today's discussion isn't just about one individual or one organization. It's about what youths more broadly are navigating in today's digital spaces. So, Lester, 4 years ago, you were in the university as a first year student. Today, you're operating in digital environments where actions involve real clients, real people, real data, and real consequences, right?
Yeah.
So, what's the biggest shift you've noticed in how you think digital responsibility and risk from being a student to becoming a young professional?
So I think the biggest shift for me is when I realized that digital risk isn't about me only and a personal thing. So in the past, when I was a student, if there's any breach or information or something went wrong, it only affects my data, my account, and solely only me. But now, after starting as an IT auditor at RSM Singapore, that view actually changed quite a lot. So at work, when I see how one small issue can actually snowball into something much bigger, and it will actually affect the whole organization. So a weak control or a bad decision that you have made doesn't only stay in one place, but it actually can affect not only the organization, but the customers and the trust of what the customers actually give to the organization. This is where it stopped feeling theoretical, and instead of just thinking about what tools or what settings I should put, for example, the 990 McAfee subscription to protect my account, now I have to start thinking more about the judgment and also the responsibility that's put into place. So like when it fails, who does it affect? How far does the impact actually goes?
Yeah, it's not as simple as it sounds, right?
Yeah.
Actually, that's more easily said than done,
Yeah.
right? So maybe let's dwell a little bit more deeper. Can you say, like as a student, a wrong click or a careless post often feels low stake, right?
Yeah.
But once you step into the actual work environment, the digital ecosystem, suddenly everything carries a weight.
Yeah.
So, what was the first moment when you realized, like, this is just about me?
Actually, the first moment I realized that it's not about me is when I touch a real system and the real data. Because previously in school, most of the data sets are provided by the professor. They are fabricated or actually widely found online. So if anything goes wrong, there's no impact to it. So now I actually see like one single configuration such as access control or the business continuity plan can actually affect real people. It can affect their livelihood and also affect much more than that. So cybersecurity, to me, I think is not about the attacks, not about preventing attacks, but is to secure the trust that is put in place to you.
That's a very good point, Lester. Let's zoom out to get a bigger picture. What do you think is the biggest digital risk the youth face today, like right now?
I think there are a few digital risks that youth actually face today. Firstly, of course, the prominence of the deepfake. So nowadays, previously, you need to have a subscription, you have to pay money to actually create a deepfake video. And most scammers actually do it for celebrities or political personnel. But now it's so easily available. I can just create a deepfake video of you or me at this point. So it's not about the reputational damage, but it portrays the digital space as somewhere that is not trustworthy. So whenever, let's say, you want to post a video to share information, people will not be more trustworthy and people may not take it seriously. That's what I feel. And the second threat, I think, is more prominent is the personalized scam. So nowadays, there's a lot of scams going on, for example, WhatsApp messages or calls. So for me personally, one scam call I actually get is they'll call you and then they say, "Hi, Lester, how have you been? It's been long since we met." I mean, my parents also receive those phone calls, and scammers, I think, are getting more skilled nowadays. So they have various methods to get information about you, such as from online social media, or they can use your phone number by creating like a cold call list, and they'll put your phone number into places such as PayNow to actually see your government name. So with that, I think youth will be more susceptible to getting scammed because you will think that, oh, that's my friend. Like, how do they know so much about me? Yeah. So I think nowadays there's various programs or tools such as Scam Shield and also Cyber Guardian Plus is a community-based program led by Singapore Police Force. So we are able to identify all these various scam calls or message and report it to Scam Shield. By doing so, the government authorities can actually raise more awareness and to inform the general public about such new scams tactics that is emerging.
That's right. I think it's important to note that when we all use AI to improve our own productivity, on the other hand, hackers and scammers also use AI, and it's going to increase the possibility of you being scammed.
Yeah.
Right. So it's also not helping that sometimes when the news is real in the US, it seems that it's fake, but it's
Yeah.
actually a real news,
That's right.
if you know what I mean, right? So you just mentioned about the initiatives like Scam Shield and Cyber Guardian Plus programs. So yes, these programs are very, very useful to warn people about scams, but do you think the awareness alone is enough, or does resilience require habits and judgment to be built much earlier?
Yeah, I think awareness itself is not enough and we need to build a habit from young. So I think habit need to be built not when we receive our first device or the first time we get scammed online, but actually from young. So one habit is to check before actually clicking or believing the information that we see online and to cross-check from various sources. So one example is the CDC voucher. There's a lot of links out there that's been sent on WhatsApp that say that, oh, click on this link to redeem your CDC voucher now. But most people did not really actually check the URL and the domain name. So I think various things we can check is, for example, .gov.sg. That's one of the telltale indicator sign that is real. And also to check whether it's HTTPS instead of HTTP, because most government organizations don't really use HTTP. These are the various habits we can cultivate, and down the road, we actually make it into a habit.
Maybe moving along those lines, when do you think digital resilience should really start, and why?
I think digital resilience should really start when kids are young. Yeah, before mentioned earlier, most kids actually use iPad when they are very young. So I think since young, the parents can actually educate them and to tell them about the various scams. But most kids will not understand what scam is when they are so young. So maybe when the parents receive a suspicious message, they can actually discuss with their kids. For example, do you think this is suspicious or is it too good to be true? So I think nowadays there's a lot of scams that are too good to be true, such as like the job scams. Yeah. So parents can also look out for it.
Yeah, Lester, as you mentioned, right? So, yes, youths today are incredibly fast in consuming digital content. They know scams exist, right? Many of them know scams exist. Why do you think youth remain vulnerable to such online scams despite the high awareness and the digital confidence that they have?
I think being aware doesn't really change your behavior. Being aware is more of knowing it, but when put into practical, we may not actually apply it. So as a youth, we use technology since young and we are very comfortable with it. We are very fast with it. So when time comes, we don't really think much and we act very fast. So scammer nowadays actually take advantage of us by creating the urgency and the pressure. Most scammer don't work because people are ignorant, but they work because people are busy and distracted. So personally for myself, I have fall into a scam before. So I ordered parcel from Taobao and I was in a queue to order my food. The scammer actually sent me an SMS stating that I have to pay for import tax. Yeah, so I was in a rush, so I actually paid it without thinking twice.
How much was the tax?
It was $20, so I didn't really think much because I
Mm.
ordered like quite a huge number. So I think $20 is reasonable. But after that, I went to check on the status. Like after a few days, I checked on the status of my parcel, and I realized that it's not even at the sorting center yet. So it's definitely a scam. So luckily, it's only $20 and not $100.
Mm.
But I think scammers nowadays are also very smart. If they put it at $100, you may be more suspicious and you may take longer to actually make the payment. But $20, most people will think that, oh, it's a small amount and I'll just pay and forget about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're totally right about it. Actually, I do also have a similar experience, though not directly to me. I had a friend. Usually, the friend directly pays the credit card bills, doesn't check through the statements. So, what happened was suddenly there was a slight change in the usual quantum of the credit card bills being paid. So, he had a thought, okay, maybe I should check my statement. And then when he saw his credit card statement, he saw multiple lines of Uber
Okay.
deductions.
In Singapore?
In Singapore.
Oh,
Yeah, actually,
okay.
Singapore doesn't even use Uber. And there were some Uber deductions, and each of them were less than $50.
Oh, okay.
So these multiple transactions put together was over $300 over dollars, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
because it's less than $50, there was no notification also when it was charged,
Mm.
right? So yeah, these are the scams that we need to be aware of. It goes easily undetected if
Mm.
we do not pay attention to it. So we have to always verify first before taking an action, especially when it's online and related to online payments.
Mm.
So thanks for sharing it, Lester. I think all Taobao users, be aware there is no additional tax. You just go through the regular platform.
Yeah. So anything you can just go through the official platform itself. If there's any SMS or suspicious message sent to you, double check first before making the payment.
Before we continue today's topic, this episode is proudly brought to you by Riversec and DDAS. The Digital Defense Alliance Singapore is dedicated to strengthening the digital defense pillar of Singapore's total defense strategy. Through close collaboration with MINDEF Nexus and MINDEF Defense, Cyber Command, DCCOM, National Youth Council, and partners across sectors, DDAS empowers youth, PMEs, women, and leaders through advocacy, education, and partnerships. Shout out to our sponsor, Riversec. These guys are serious about offensive cybersecurity. They're trusted in some of the most complex, highly regulated environments, and they don't just talk about security, they make it work. Whether you're looking to get ISO 27001 or SOC 2 certified, or you want to run a full red team exercise, Riversec's experts make it smooth and stress-free. They bring deep technicals and a really pragmatic mindset, helping organizations stay a step ahead and turn cybersecurity into a genuine business edge. Now that we have spoken about the different scams and how the hackers use AI to intelligently craft the phishing messages, for example. On the other hand, for youth, right, AI and automation are already reshaping how decisions are made online. And from content creation to, let's say, financial platforms or even job processes, some tasks or most of the tasks are changing and some roles may disappear or emerge as new roles, right? So beyond technical skills, what do you think today's youth need to be prepared in an AI-driven digital world, especially when it comes to trust and judgment?
I think in the AI world, youth need to be more vigilant, of course, from previously what we mentioned. Secondly, is to have the responsibility. So even though we have the power to create deepfake video, we should do it responsibly and not create it so that we, in the intention of misinformation and to mislead people. And of course, to have critical thinking, lastly. Critical thinking is because there's so many fake information out there right now. So we need to have the critical thinking to see whether this is trustworthy or not, and also not to take things at face value. So, for example, when a job offer you work from home 5 days a week for 4,000, it's a bit too good to be true. So it's better to double check first before like giving your personal details to them. Yeah. So I think this is how students can prepare themselves in this AI world.
So, too good to be true is a key takeaway from the previous question. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And now let's move on to the last segment, which we call it as a rapid fire round. So, one digital habit that young people should drop today.
I think one digital habit young people should drop is for my stance, in my opinion, maybe oversharing on social media. Because nowadays we have so many platforms. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have X, we have Lemonade, so much. So whenever you share information online, attackers can actually leverage on those. It's important to know that the information we put out in place will leave a digital footprint, and it will be always there, and attackers can actually leverage on such things.
Yeah. So, privacy is an important keyword
Yeah.
in this place. Yep. Thanks for sharing that. Let's move on to question 2 now. One digital risk youth often underestimate.
One risk that youth often underestimate is that having the same password for every single account. Yeah, because we may think that it's very easy to remember, but once it's compromised, one platform is compromised, the attackers can actually leverage on it and to access to various accounts.
Yeah.
And nowadays, our social media is our identity. So if the attacker access it and then message your friends funny things or asking for money, your friends wouldn't really think much about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So actually, that's a very important cyber hygiene practice also.
Yeah.
We'll move on to question 3. One future skill youth will need as AI becomes more common.
I think one future skill is to learn how to adapt, because technology change very rapidly, very fast. And if we don't adapt, perhaps we will be lagging behind, and we will pose a higher risk to us of being vulnerable in today's technological world.
Let's move on to the next question. One online behavior that feels normal, but it's actually risky.
I think one behavior, one action now is the deepfake that is mentioned earlier. It's becoming so common that you can even see like cat dancing or dog dancing in videos such as Instagram. And nowadays it's becoming more and more common, and people may actually take it for granted. So it can be used against us. That's what I feel. Yeah.
I think you love this question. One signal that should make you pause before click or share.
I think one indicator is too good to be true, as mentioned earlier. Yeah. So there's always very good incentive out there. So it's important to cross-check. So what we learn like in social studies, to actually cross-verify before you validate it. Yeah.
Okay. One action that helps improve your cyber skills and your cyber resilience.
So for me, I actually take part in various cyber communities such as DDoS, ISC Square, and ISACA. So they usually have seminars and workshops that's hosted outside of office hours and school hours. And most of the time it's free. So I usually attend their event, and they will talk about the various trends, the current threats that's in the cyber world today. And I think it's very interesting also to visit this kind of events, is to network with industry professionals, so they can actually share more real life experience, and not only reading the theory of what we need to be aware of, but they actually share like what actually happened to them, the experience they actually have been through.
But I understand what you mean. So what you learn in the school is primarily, though it's more hands-on, it's related to past incidents and use cases that you learn from. But when you meet such industry experts, you learn about more of current incidents and current risks and how to handle them.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's directly coming from them. So that's what makes the difference.
Yeah, so the previous event I actually went for the DAS was held at RSM. There's a panel discussion where all the full-timers actually share what they do day to day in their job. So it's actually quite insightful because some of the things that I wouldn't consider, they actually mention. One example would be a lot of people think that AI actually replace jobs in the future, but actually one of them mentioned that with AI rise, there will be various jobs that will be created as well, such as governance in AI, which now CSA have in Cyber Essential, whereby they focus a lot on AI, OT, and cloud risk. Yeah.
Yep. You're right. We are also revamping all the curriculum to update with AI in the picture. So all the modules that you're taking,
Yeah.
or you had taken already, your juniors are actually going to take much more than that. So it's going to be more on how to use AI responsibly, how to protect yourself from such risks or AI generated phishing attacks. So all these are going to be part of the curriculum also moving forward. So yeah.
I think all these new modules is actually very interesting because they are closer to it and they actually experience it before. So I think when they learn, I think it'll be very interesting for them. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of the rapid fire, but not so rapid. Anyways, we had a good discussion. So let's wrap it up. So if you could give one piece of advice to young people today about navigating digital spaces more safely and confidently, what would that be?
I think it would be to verify before clicking into anything such as links or thinking that it's real. So it's very important to cross-check, verify, and not fall for any scams. Yeah.
And finally, what does digital resilience mean to you?
Digital resilience, what it means to me is to actually be 2 steps ahead of the scammer itself and to think like what are the various ways they can actually target us and to prevent ourselves from falling into such trap. Yeah, that's what I think.
Thanks, Lester. If there's one takeaway from today, it's going to be digital resilience isn't about avoiding technology, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So starting from digital systems or like cashless payments and digital wallets that bring in like real convenience, they do bring efficiency and also inclusion. However, the goal here isn't to stop or step away from these technologies, but rather use them more confidently and responsibly.
That's
So digital resilience is about knowing, like you shared, like when to pass and question and verify.
Yeah, that's right.
So the verification has to be like without losing the benefits of the convenience. So it's not going away from it, but rather using the technology more responsibly.
Yeah.
So when young people build these habits more early on, they just don't protect themselves, but rather a wider community, and they contribute more towards a resilient digital system. Thanks, everyone. Follow up with DDAS for more such content. And if you want to participate in such events, thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.